I got introduced to the swim team by, what is it? The vodka and confetti and vodka. And she did a little live post about what his changes were. And I thought it was super cool that a guy, for one, was talking about some changes that he made to help support their fertility journey. And so, yeah, I thought it'd be cool to get him to come on and have a chat with us. So he has a private account, but he does have a link to his top 10 things that he did to change and improve his fertility. We're not here to talk about those top 10 things. We might highlight a few. What we're really here to talk about is why he and his wife decided to make some pretty big changes in their lives. So he's there. Can you wave?
How's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
So cool. So you made some changes. You got some new results from your sperm test, and tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so first, thanks for having me on as a chat. I appreciate it. It's good to be able to get the word out there and maybe help a few people. So do you want to go from kind of like the start, like maybe the first time I got tested and stuff? Or?
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, so we were trying for like a couple of years. I think it was like 2 years, sometime. Like my wife will tell you the exact month and week. I think it was two years. And we were like, right, we better start getting things checked. So I think it was just after sort of the first year we started playing around with, right, better get fertility checked, all that sort of thing. So I went for an analysis anyway. It came back very, very poor, you know. It was just after Christmas, so like it was pretty bad food being eaten, quite a bit of drink, and the lifestyle was pretty rough at the time. I was also doing a lot of excessive exercise as well, so like I was surprised that the results even came back poor. I thought everything was going to be fine, to be honest with you. I was like, should I be wrong? There's nothing could be wrong here. This is fine. I'm really healthy. But they were bad. So I kind of just kept going as I was going, to be honest with you, for a while. And I didn't make any drastic changes for quite some time, actually, to be honest. I was like, they're low, but there's still something going on there, so it should work, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's only after like another sort of 8 months, I was like, right, there's something up here. Naomi had a few things done as well, but we're really focused on for this chat. We're focused on the kind of my side of things. I was like, right, I better get a few things checked here to see what's going on. You know? And that's when I reached out to a lady here in Dublin and went for a chat with her about basically my lifestyle and stuff like that. You know?
Yep. So yeah, you went to a herbalist.
I went to a herbalist.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what did she say to you? So you kind of went there thinking, give me some magic pills.
I was like, give me the plants. Give me
Yeah.
the grind of the plants. I thought it was just a case of walk in, give me the plants, I go home, I take them, and everything's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
And it was so far from that, it wasn't even funny. I was like sat down and grilled for over an hour about everything that was going on in my life, even down to what I dreamt about. That's no joke. So I spoke to Amanda, is her name, and we talked about how much drinking I was doing. Was I drinking coffee? Was I exercising? It really focused. She focused more on the stress and the sleep more than anything.
Yep.
But there was all sorts of things she wanted me. Like it was a grill. I was a complete grill for over an hour. I was like, when is this going to end? She's like asking me what I think about when I'm sleeping. I was like, Jesus. I'm thinking about my new back garden, if I'm honest. But
Yeah.
I was like, this. She's like, oh right, you think about your. So she's like, you think about projects, do you? And it's like, yeah, well, I'm working on my garden, so it's a project. She's like, you need to just relax. You're just thinking about too much stuff. So like her main thing was the sleep, the stress, which was her main focus. But she wanted me to change like 10 things before she even gave me the herbs.
Yep. And when she kind of said that to you, did you think that it was going to work? Or did you kind of just think, I'll do it and see what happens?
To be honest with you, it was more like kind of a wake-up call, really, when she told me all this stuff, to be honest. So it was more of a kind of a realization that, Jesus, like, I'm drinking too much here, I'm eating shitty food, and I'm not sleeping enough, and I'm training to excess here. Like, nothing's going to want to live in me.
Yep.
Basically. And, it was just a kind of a complete wake-up call, really, and I didn't, to be honest with you, if I was to say to you now, did I think it was going to work? I didn't really know, to be honest. I was like, right, if I change all these things, it might work, so I'll give it a go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was happy to make the lifestyle changes and hope for the best, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, kind of one of like let's just try this, see if it works. How long did you do it for, or how long did she recommend?
Yeah, to be honest with you, she said come back to me in 10 weeks. Like I didn't really think diet was going to, like, what, to be honest with you, I really didn't think what I was putting in was going to make that much of a change, if I'm honest.
Yep.
I was like, I'm healthy, I should be fine, and she gave me kind of a 10-week time scale where she was like, look, go away, have your lifestyle changes, what you're going to do, and then go and get another analysis, which I was freaked about as well. And she was like, come back to me with results. And she said, like, as I'm walking out, she was like, I don't think I'm going to be giving you much herbs when you come back to me.
Yeah.
I was like, why? And she was like, because I think this is going to make a big change in your life. She's like, there's too many variables that are wrong for your analysis to be good. And I was like, okay. So I literally got home that night and I was like, I'm changing everything. And I'm done with drink, I'm done with shit food, I'm done with coffee. I need to sleep more and I need to get less stressed. So that was it. It was like cold turkey. So. Yep.
And you used to ride your bike quite a lot.
Yeah, I did about 16 hours of bike a week. I commute into town every day, so it's an hour in, an hour back.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, you need to knock that on the head. So I actually rented a park space in town and drove in every day instead. You know?
Yep. And unfortunately for the males, that is something that can cause issues. Like you say, you made so many changes at once, which were all very important to make, but you can't nail it down like that is the one that is going to make a difference. And I think that's the kind of hard thing when you're making changes, unless you want to do it very slowly and get tested every single time.
You have to do 10 separate tests. Like, 10 weeks of one thing or 10 weeks of another, you know. So I was just like, look, I have to do all 10 things and hope for the best. You know?
Yeah, because most people, when you say, well, I've given up my hour commute on my bike, which is super healthy, good for the environment, to drive into work, it sounds crazy, but I think a lot of people would agree that sitting like that for you guys isn't necessarily a good thing for something that's trying to grow and thrive.
A couple of £100 on one particular area probably isn't the best, if you know what I mean. So,
yeah.
And it's a pretty excessive cycle. I hit it pretty hard, and I generally do it in under the hour every day. So it's not a leisurely cycle. It's intense. It's by the time you get to work, you're completely soaked. And she was like, you are putting yourself under so much stress on a daily basis. You have no idea that you're doing this.
And sorry.
She just said basically your training is excessive and you're putting yourself under stress.
Yeah, definitely. Now, did anyone in the medical field of, your GP to any fertility specialist say anything along the lines of this to you?
No, it was all like cut back on this, maybe cut back on that. But there was no real, sort of one thing that was said to me that really made it kick in, to be honest.
Yes.
It was that visit that actually made everything different to the herbalist. I've been to loads of doctors, and I've been to loads of consultations with my wife and stuff like that, and not once did I really hear, you need to give up alcohol, you need to stop eating bad food, you need to get less stressed. It didn't happen. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, it was like the best €50 I ever spent in my life. It really was. I actually rang her and told her that this morning, actually. So.
Yeah, it's funny where it finally clicks in your brain. I feel like it's a very surprising for most people who finally decide, like, right, I'm going to make these really alternative changes, and when that finally clicks in your brain, it's kind of out of the blue. You're not prepared for it.
Yeah, it wasn't something that I thought about for a couple of weeks. It was just a split decision, but it was the fact it was put on a plate to me and sort of said, look, this is a problem, you need to sort this,
Yeah.
So no, like, until then it was real. Even people around me were saying, oh, but maybe, like, even friends, you don't need to give up drink, or you don't need to, I was fine, and I didn't give up alcohol, and I was like, this is grand, I can still get out and have a few pints on a Sunday, and this will be grand, but, like, it mightn't have been the drinking, it might have been the coffee or the bike, but...
Yeah, you don't know.
If I listened to everyone, I'd still be doing the old me.
Yeah, that was kind of my next question is, we're such, like, people, and, our friends and our family and our communities can make us or break us in a way. And I think sometimes we don't do things that we maybe need to do because we have our friends and family saying, well, you don't need to do that, or, not thinking along the lines. Was that a big issue for you and your wife?
No, well, even Naomi was going to start doing the same thing as me, but, like, I got a lot of kickback insofar as I got a lot of kickback from friends and people who knew me, and it was like, yeah, you're mad, you don't need to do that, certain people were saying, what do you mean you're not drinking over Christmas, we need to go for beers, and I'm like, you don't understand here, I'm not going out for beers over Christmas, It's like, do you listen to what I'm saying here? And they were like, no, you're coming out, you can come out, we'll have 2 or 3, and I'm not coming out with you, man. So in terms of that, I kind of needed to be a little bit firm with my decision. It wasn't easy, like, some of the people that would have been really, really close to me, etc. And I didn't really feel like I was letting them down, to be honest. I knew I had a job to do, and that was it. Like, I had to make this situation a lot better, and I really, a few nights out in the beer over Christmas, it wouldn't be worth it, I had the mindset that, like, if IVF didn't work in February, I was going to blame the drink that I had in December. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like, I am not having that drink, because that would be the one day that I drank something and I went somewhere and it shouldn't have, and now it's all broken. So... it's not that we're saying that one drink is going to affect the outcome. It's your mindset. It was my mindset, yeah. So, like, I was just like, even with the coffees, I was like, I shouldn't be drinking this coffee. I shouldn't be doing this. It was just a complete overall mindset. I knew what I needed to do. I knew I needed to, like, I have a small list of things that I knew I needed to do. I needed to cut out drinking. I needed to cut out coffee. I needed to just knock excessive exercise in the head, because I did really train excessively. It was heavy. Plus, it was 16 hours of bike plus gym work. Yep. And I needed to sleep better. I needed to stress less. I needed to be taking the proper supplements. I needed to have a breakfast every single day. I needed to stay hydrated. And I needed to just take time for me as well. And I was like, these are like these 10 things that I was like, right, I'm doing these 10 simple things, and I don't care about anybody's opinion. I'm just going to do them, and hopefully it works, you know, which I was really surprised that did, but...
Yeah, and I want to highlight, because you're kind of at the beginning of your journey of changing things and seeing progress, and that's what's really important, you know. It's really easy to get wrapped up that a pregnancy is the only winning, you know, like for me, I still spent years after I changed my diet not winning. So I could have easily turned around and said, oh, it doesn't work, you know, I've tried that, it doesn't work. So I think it's really important that if you're seeing progress, positive progress, that you just keep going and you find what's right for you. Because I think sometimes we start making changes and they're improving things, but you might need to find or retweak, okay, I need to do this or I need to do that. And then that's what's going to get to your ultimate goal. And just not give up on your changes if you're not pregnant within 3 months or 6 months or the first IVF doesn't work. It's really celebrating the small wins.
Exactly. And that's kind of one thing that I made a pact with myself about this whole thing, that I wasn't going to point it directly towards pregnancy and IVF. I was just treating it as getting healthier, and that was because that for me was a win. Immediately, you know, I had to kind of treat it that way in one sense, and I wanted to treat it that way in another sense, because I was like, I'm clearly not healthy. I was like, I'm doing too much, and I'm putting the wrong things into my body. And I was like, even without the whole pregnancy, TTC and ICSI and IVF and all that, I was like, if this doesn't work, I'm going to get healthier anyway.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to win anyway. I'm going to get healthier. And there was loads of things that started to change within about, you know, even 3 to 4 weeks that I noticed. And I was like, I'm winning already. And things are different. Even my mood and stuff completely changed. So I think it's good to point it. You know, use just getting healthier as a goal, and you win.
Yeah, massively.
Yourself better, you know.
Yeah, and it's really hard. It's really hard to do in this society, you know, to make these changes and keep them up. So you have to, you know, take a step back and go, right, okay, I'm not pregnant this month, but I'm not maybe as sad as I used to be. I have more energy, you know, all the little things. And then that will keep you going. That will give you the strength to keep fighting for what you want. And, you know, what you want could be anything. You know, it doesn't have to be the ultimate goal of a baby or your own baby, or, you know, you could go to adoption. You know, there's so many options of life. And I think sometimes when we are going through this journey, we're so head focused on one little goal that we miss out all the amazing goals that we're achieving.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like I was like, we did try for a couple of months after, like, and, you know, like I sort of, as I was getting healthier, etc. And you know the way you're thinking, you're like, oh, I'm getting healthier, it's going to work this month, and it didn't. But I was kind of saying to myself, okay, it didn't work this month, but I got healthier. I had more money in my pocket because I'm not spending it on terrible food and alcohol, and you know, so I was like, I was like kind of using that as a goal every month to make myself feel better about what I was doing. You know?
Yeah, massively. I feel you on that one. When, you know, we did a year of changing our diet, did another round of IVF, and I didn't even make it to day 28 for my period. I was devastated, and I could have gone like, right, that's it, I'm done. But I looked at the positives, that we had 5 healthy embryos that we got frozen. I said, okay, what can I change to make sure that at least one of these come out? And there's not make sure. That's not a very good thing to say because you can't control that stuff. But I kept going and I kept improving, and I did find what the issue was. But that's the inspiration I'm hoping for you and myself is to give other people that, keep going.
Well, that's the thing. Like I'm getting reached out to by a lot of guys lately, and I'm getting reached out to a lot of guys with sort of lower motility and stuff, kind of like myself. And the thing I'm trying to drive home is like, look, you might have low motility, but it just needs one, So I was like, you need to beef up the guys you have, and maybe that one guy will get through.
Yep.
So as opposed to thinking like I've low motility, think of it as I still have something going on. I'm going to work with what I have.
Yeah.
That's the way I thought of it. Like I was kind of thinking, right, Jesus. I was like, this is low, but like I was actually working it out on a calculator, going, right, 24%, 2 million is this amount, and I was like, there's got to be one good guy in there I can get, two or something. It was madness. It was complete madness. Like, Jesus.
And now, do you believe that there are changes out there that can improve your situation?
Yeah, well, the thing that I wanted to kind of point out, like I'm no professional. I'm just an electrician from Dublin who decided to change a few things in his life, and that's it. I'd love to say, yeah, if you change all these things, it's going to work, right? These 10 things worked for me, and I never believed that by changing these 10 things, they would. I never believed deep down that by changing these 10 things, they would really work. I figured there was something broken, and I needed to kind of work with what I had and kind of make those low percentage of whatever low percentage that I had better, and that was the only thing I could really focus on.
Yeah.
But now I believe that by changing diet and stress is really important actually, because I've really managed to cope a lot better in the last 12 weeks with stress and stuff, and stop worrying about complete bullshit things that I shouldn't be worrying about,
Yeah.
So I think these things really can help people. I think the sleep and the stress things are really, really important though.
Yeah.
But the whole giving up drinking makes you sleep better. It's weird,
It's all connected.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that I would like to point out is that it isn't just one. It's all connected together. So you need to have a handful of changes that support each other.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And I like, to be honest with you, because of these 10 things that I changed, I do feel healthier. I feel better as a person. I actually feel like a better person, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like it was a waste in any way at all. Even if I hadn't have gotten the figures back, I felt far better in myself as a general human. I just even down to mood and stuff like that, not getting pissed off as quick. Just because I wasn't stressed and I put better things into my body. Do you know what I mean? It sounds so simple,
It does. And that kind of leads to my next question. What was the hardest part for you? And maybe still is the hardest part.
Jesus. That's I missed the bike. That's for one thing.
Yeah.
That was a great 16 hours for me to talk to myself the whole way into town every week. Mm-hmm. Just about random stuff that was going on in my head. We all know, right? We miss going for a few beers.
100%.
I mean, it's Sunday tomorrow, and I want to go for a few pints.
Yep.
Because Sunday is a great day in Ireland for going for a few beers and having a kind of carvery dinner and listening to a bit of music and stuff. It's great. Yeah. Great crack. So I miss that,
Yeah. And I always say to people, like, once you're done, like, whether, you complete whatever goal you've done, you can go back. It's gonna be there.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up, actually. I'm glad you brought that up because I don't think I'm going to be going back to the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think it could happen. I'm seeing a different perspective now. So, for me, you know, say going for a few pints most Sundays, I won't be doing that most Sundays anymore. And maybe it'll be one Sunday out of every 5.
Yeah.
And I'll probably look forward to that Sunday better now.
Yeah. And you know what? You'll still save money because you'll be a cheap drunk.
Yeah, 2 pints and I'll be anyways. You know. But like that, I find that's something that's I'm not going to go back to. One thing I'm not going to be doing. I won't be going back to excessive exercise either because I really did I would have got a lot of comments from people saying, Jesus, you really, really train hard. You push it every time you're on the bike. And that's something I was pushing myself to the limit. And I'm going to enjoy exercise for what it is now. Actually having a leisurely weight training session, not going in and trying to smash the whole place up.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And just enjoy the process of being in a gym or being on the bike and not trying to, you know, if I'm going to go to work, I'm going to leave 10 minutes earlier that I can just actually freewheel it for a while.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
So I do miss a lot of stuff, but I'm definitely not going back to where I was.
Yeah. So what would be your top tip? So if anyone is gonna, you know, make some changes, what would be the one piece of advice that you would give them?
One piece of advice I would probably give people is definitely get less stressed. Definitely get less stressed about silly things. I used to get stressed about a lot of stuff. And just sort of get a bit more mellow and relaxed and stuff.
Yeah, and find your right way because your kind of relaxation is your house. You're doing some DIY, right?
Yeah, exactly. Find something that you enjoy doing.
Yeah. So not everyone needs to go sit on the yoga mat or do meditation.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've had this conversation with people, you know, really frequently lately about meditation and all that sort of thing. And for me, meditation actually isn't for me. I'm very uncomfortable doing nothing.
Yep.
I find the thoughts of sitting in my sitting room on a yoga mat with candles around me a nightmare because all I can think about is, you know, this little project that I want on. And when I'm working on that project, I'll feel so happy.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So for me, that's my kind of meditation. You know.
Yeah.
It's like that's my time. So find something that you know you really enjoy doing and actually treat that as your time out for yourself. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And one thing I'll just point out is in the last 14 weeks, I've never enjoyed renovating my house as much because I actually treated it as downtime for myself and I'm not thinking, Jesus, I need to get the skirting boards on and I need to hang this door and I need to paint, you know, and I need to put the roof on when the walls are built. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now I'm just like I was painting all day today and I was like, do you know what, this is really, really nice. I'm just painting and I'm getting shit done and it's nice.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean about not stressing about things that you shouldn't. I would have probably stressed that, I have to get the paint done, and you know, I was turning something that I really enjoyed into a complete disaster.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I think that's a perfect analogy to trying to conceive as well. You know, you start off with this beautiful, we're going to make a baby, and then all of a sudden it's a complete disaster, and you're stressing over things, and yeah.
And that's one thing I've kind of had to take a backseat on thinking about all the time and sort of thinking, right, I'm not thinking about this all the time now because, you know, it's only stressing me out. I know I'm doing everything I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing. I was like, Ken, you're doing everything you can do. You've visited the herbalist. You've done everything she said. You're not just sitting there doing nothing. Give yourself a break.
Yeah.
You know, stop thinking all the time about this and put yourself under pressure because you're doing all you can. You know, sort of way.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you start focusing on your little wins that you're getting while you're changing, and you stop focusing so much on, the results of getting pregnant, which is really hard. This is just a journey. It's, when you make changes, it's not going to automatically click off what's your ultimate goal. But I found I had less time to worry about bullshit, because I was like, okay, I'm going to meal plan, or I'm going to do yoga, or, I found what worked for me, and I found I thought about it less, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, that makes perfect sense, because that's why, like any of my friends that know me, they know I've always got a project on, I've always got something going, and like I said, up until maybe 3 months ago, I was treating those projects as something that had to be done tomorrow, and now I'm treating them as something that I'm just enjoying the process of doing. And it just takes my mind off things completely. Even if I'm just driving down to the builders providers to get bricks from my shed.
Yeah.
And this is a nice drive. I'm just driving down. I don't need to kick in the turbo and drive down there as quick, as fast as possible to get the bricks and bring them back. And madness, you know what I mean? Like, it's insane. That's what I mean. Like, this infertility thing has actually really changed who I am as a person because of these changes I made. I think it's been, if I have to look at a positive of this, it's definitely made me a better person.
Yeah. For sure. And, that's my hope for everyone who struggles with anything is once you're able to embrace what life is and put your effort into making it the best and the healthiest you can, I think your outcome, is going to be a little bit more joyful. I'm going to let you go now because, but I want to thank you so much for not only coming and talking to us, but sharing your story. I know a lot of people, I know when I was going through my journey, I probably wouldn't. And yeah, keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to put some links up on my stories and to you and your wife's journey, and all the best in February. Our fingers are crossed for you guys.
Like 7 weeks away now.
Yeah, it's going to come quick.
It comes around pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously we'll keep in touch, and hopefully you'll get some more people following what you're doing, and you can be a little bit of inspiration.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that I wanted to I was just hoping to help out even one guy on this journey, because I did go to Instagram and I was typing in the usual hashtags, and I wasn't really finding anything out there that was making me feel sort of comforted. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to set up a little page here and document what I'm going to do, and that's it.
Yeah. And it's cool, and you guys are funny, so it's enjoyable,
That's good to hear. Anyway, it's just kind of a bit of dry Irish humor.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's what everyone needs in their life, a little Irish.
Yeah, that's it. I'm glad you're enjoying it, and thanks very much for having the chat, and I hope